Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt and welcome to New Brick Workshop. There have been a lot of branches and bits of tree coming down recently. We've had some high winds here in the UK, and so it's a good time to stock up for the wood burning stove, the open fire and so on. Now, I didn't have a logging sawhorse. I used to do it all in an impromptu way, but I've got so much to do that I've built a little sawhorse here. And my design is such that it folds up flat, and it is just a lightweight model that I've built. But you could take this design and you could make all the various members a lot thicker, a lot stronger, and so this could be used for some serious work. Now let me just take you back to the workshop where I built it. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry about this, but I didn't film the actual construction. But anyway, let's go and have a quick look at it before it came out of the workshop. Now, I really do regret not filming this from the very beginning, but I didn't honestly think it was going to turn out quite as good as it has. Let me explain how I went about it. First of all, I wanted to make the traditional sort of sawhorse, which has the sort of V element where the big lumps of wood will go prior to being chainsawed into logs. So that's the reason for this shape. Now, in order to do the simple bits, I made two rectangular frames. One which is here, and the two vertical pieces of wood there held together with two horizontal pieces. So that's on that side. And the ends of those frame pieces have a long sort of cutout there to widen the teeth here. And on the other side, there's another rectangular frame. This time it's wider than the other frame so that this one can fit directly over that one. And it's made the same way with two horizontal pieces. Now these two pieces come together and they're hinged with a couple of bolts, one each side, one there and one the other side. And these are coach bolts. I'm sure you've seen them. They've got a round end, a little square section here, and then the thread there. And basically what I've done is to drill a counterbore on the outer part here, and that will take the whole of the head so nothing's sticking out here. Because if you're sawing pieces of wood with a chainsaw, you don't want to come down and then suddenly hit something which is metallic. So that's why the bolt's going in that way. And the bolt goes through both of these pieces of wood. And then on the other side, there's a nut and a washer. That's been tightened up. And of course, that will stick out into the middle section here. And then to be on the safe side, I've put another counterbore on a small piece of wood, and that is stuck on the inside there. So that if one did accidentally have the chainsaw coming down in the middle section, which one shouldn't do, then there is an element of protection for the nut and the end of the bolt. Now, when one comes to use this, you want to be putting your big pieces of wood here and sawing down, and then moving along and sawing down and so on, in order to produce logs which are the right size to go on your fire or whatever. But when you get to the very end, and you can see this now, this piece of wood is creeping along here, it still needs to be supported because you want to be able to cut the final one so that the piece that remains is also of the right length for your fire. So therefore I've put in these two extra pieces, and they are shaped just like the ends here, and they're joined onto one onto here and one onto the other side here, so that when these close up, it still is a relatively thin object and therefore can be stored easily. Now, it's my intention that I would operate this from this side because the amount of support there is just right for the smallest log to go on the fire. Now, one thing that I really want to build into this, because I often work on my own, is the ability to be able to hold a log on here without it falling off and being a nuisance. So what I've done is I've got a bit of bungee, and in order to secure my log I can always put this over and hold it with the bungee. And in order to do that, the bungee is fixed here. There's a hole in this piece of wood and there's a knot in the bungee material there. And then I've put a knot randomly here on the bungee, and there's a little slot there, so I can go down like that, put that through, and that will hold it. And if that isn't tight enough, I can then move this knot as I wish. So that's the idea of that. Then at the very bottom, you can see a piece of thin rope that goes across, and it goes between the two bottom cross pieces, and that stops this trying to open itself any further than it should. And the other key feature of this is that the whole gadget, when it's not in use, will fold up. And it's very simple to take and fold up like so. Now, I've got the plans available. I can send them out to you straight away, and you're welcome to have them free of charge. But in order to get plans from me, I need your email address. If you go to my main YouTube page, click on the About tab, and then you'll find my email address. Well, there we go. That's the small logging sawhorse. It's very easy to build. You should build it in about an hour in the workshop. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.